Good morning, everyone. I think you get one of those cameras get set up differently. See if that works better. And I gotta get this set up differently. There we go. That should hopefully be better. Okay. 3236. Mad Hatter. We got Clint. Yeah, we got Seahawks for life. Good, man. One, 5, 6. Take a few days off. It's like everything is foreign. Trying to get it all set up again for the day. Two, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. Good. Good, you found it, Clint. I had her asked if I left the winner. I did leave a winner. Not by much. Kind of comical, actually, but it was a winner. And so was the charity. Terrible thrill. I don't know what that was all about. 4, 4, 8. I can do a recap, I guess. I can also talk about it while we start showing that. Good morning, Kevin. Yeah. You were a winner as well. You won the cutting board, I think, right? God, I think so. 5-4, by the way. I think it was what you won. Yes. Okay. That cutting board is actually pretty cool. It's handmade. The white logo is actually he uses CNC to cut out the design, and it's actually a epoxy resin that's placed on the inside of it. So it actually is really high quality. 268. Just make sure with that epoxy resin, and this is only speaking from personal experience of working with epoxy resin, is that make sure it doesn't get heated up, because it does get pliable if you're heated, if it heats up. So careful with that. So there's some put in direct sunlight or next to the stove or whatever. Three, 4, 7, double pitch. 3, 2, 3, 6. But the gentleman that made those, his name is Rick, and Rick was there in attendance the entire weekend, sitting behind the seats, which was really cool. We had Dice Dr. Dander the entire weekend, 145. A gentleman named Ali was there all weekend long. We had Roderick was there most of the weekend, who I met for the first time. Randy Hill was there for most of the weekend. Talk to John to see how that works, Todd. Drop John an email, or if you can't get a hold of him, I'll get a hold of him and ask him for you. John is the one who will address the shipping of that. It might take a little bit for that board to get to you, just so you're aware. Aces, Mad Hatter. We had behind the scenes, I was doing all the chat moderation, as well as the announcements of the donations and questions that the chat had. Craig from Obey Crapsee was running the scene transitions and the entire flow of the program. Leon from Great Crapsee was running all of the donations and updating of everything online. And he was also assisting with chat moderations. John was obviously running the show as far as emceeing and flow and stuff like that. Ryan Markpoint was helping quite a bit on behind the scenes stuff. Ian was helping Ian Olsen was helping behind the scenes stuff, as well as Brian from Holy Roller. And Jen was taking care of all the monetary things. So anything money related, as far as collection of money, 639, Jen would take care of all that stuff. So, yeah. We did play at Palace Station. That was an interesting topic, which I will cover here in a little bit. I did win as a winner. I won a total of, drum roll please, $22. $22 profit. So that was a win. Midnight. Okay, let's get the show started here. Welcome to Level Up with CMJ. Hey, my name is Joe, and this is my Craps Master Dice Shooting Journey. Let's make it yours too. Today's episode number 644 of the Level Up program, and this is about my daily practice of shooting the dice at the craps table, as well as playing a blue collar craps style of play. On the YouTube side of things, we have Quinn checking in number one, and it's off the screen, so I'll do this one right here for you, Quinn. We got Mad Hatter, we got Sea Hawks for Life, we got Craps guy David Clark. I didn't see you sneak in here. Good morning, David. We have Kevin Scott, and we also got Mad Hatter checking in. I'm not sure if I had his name. Anyhow, hey, if you're watching live, you click on the live tab. If you're playing live, I should say, on Crapsee, click on that live tab. That'll bring over to the table that we're using here. Remember, this is all about my daily practice shooting the dice, but also playing a blue collar crap style play. So making sure that we bet responsibly if we were using these betting strategies in the actual casino. Remember, this is for educational and entertainment purposes. And we also have Eric checking in. Good morning, Eric. Anyhow, we have a new table starting with Crapsee, so we're starting off with a $5,000 bankroll. Make sure you bet appropriately this morning because I'm going to be doing some talking while I'm shooting today, so I don't know how. I cannot guarantee any dice roll results here today, so make sure that, nor can I ever, but make sure that you guys do bet responsibly this morning, and we'll be talking as we go, so there hopefully will be some good rolls. Who knows how they go. But let's start off with a $15 pass line. We're going to talk as we go about how the weekend went and a lot of the stuff that went on. Table set at a $10 minimum, obviously, so we'll go $15 pass line. And let's go all bet set. 3236 will be our starting dice set. And dice out. And we have a 5-1 KitchenAid mixer to start off the day. And let's get the rhythm going on here first before we start talking about anything. The 5-1-6, marking point of 6. And I'm going to go just 160 cross to start off with today. Again, low bankroll. I'm going to bet low until we can figure out what's going on with our throws. Well, 15 odds. Again, 3-2, 3-6 is the dice set. So left Thursday. Thursday did not have a show. Good morning, Craps, Texas. I believe you're Anthony, I think. Left Thursday morning and made it to the airport. Flew down to, I'll bet set here today. So went to Vegas, obviously. Nice, but it probably left my fingers. We got 2-4-6. It's a winner 6 to Kevin the Carpenter. 2x4. So I arrived in Vegas on Thursday. 2-2-3-6. And I sat in the airport for a few hours, waiting about an hour and a half. Waiting for Ryan from Mark to Point to get in because he was flying in so we could share a taxi, which would be nice. It's a 33. No. What was that? A $33 profit? All big as a well, whatever. Okay. We're gonna stick with the $15 pass line bet, and I'll go 32 across pressure when I get a new point established. So Ryan showed up, and then there was a craps bubble machine right in the airport. So he jumps on there, drops $200 like instantly. It was terrible. He filmed a couple of videos. I just sat and watched. Packer game was playing, so I was actually watching the Packer playing in the airport. Go Pack Go, 2-0 for the season. We got Kay Fisher checking in. Good morning. Trying out a new strategy goes. Let's go all bet set and dice out. 3-2-3-6. Two, 6, 8. The Duracell 8. So Ryan jumps on there, does a little filming. Craig from Obey Craps got there at the same time as I did as well, but his son picked him up. His son actually lives in Vegas. He works for one of the shows in town. He does. So Craig had a good visit with him. Just a short visit, but it was a good visit. He said, "We're gonna move that $30 over to day 6, 15 in odds, and then we're gonna go 32 across pressure." So waited a little bit with Ryan there. And then Ian Olson from Seattle showed up. Ian got a car, so Ryan, myself jumped in the car with Ian, and he took us over to Planet Hollywood, which is where Ian was staying at. I'm sorry, Ryan was staying at. Let's go all bet set. And base out. 426. Holy cannoli, 426. Wrong day set. 236 and 426. So then after we dropped off Ryan, I was telling Ian about the Airbnb that he had booked for us. Let's bring our bets down. Let's go 96 across. Actually, we're going to go 66 inside. There we go. That'll work. And we'll go all bet set. And I had looked it up ahead of time because he gave me the address, and I was not very impressed. It was the one I found on Airbnb online was a large bed, a couch, and a few small rooms, and that was supposed to have for three of us. So I told Ian, I said, Las Vegas is warmer than Wisconsin, and I was not too impressed with the Airbnb. So I'll just sleep on the street. I said, it's not a problem. And 314 medium size Joe, Craps Master Journey. And Ian goes, well, that doesn't sound right. He goes, it's my aunt that actually owns the Airbnb. And he goes, she told me it was a nice place. So we actually went over there, and it was actually remarkable Airbnb. Had 3 bedrooms, newly remodeled place, extremely nice. In fact, I had pick of the bedroom, so I took the master bedroom, which had its own separate shower and bathroom area, restroom area. So that was pretty cool. That was a 4, so we had nothing on that 4, so that was no help for me here. And then we checked Ian, and he stayed at the Rio. Good morning, Uncle Hoku. So that was the first night. And then we actually, what did we do that first night? We met at Planet Hollywood. We met up with Jen, Justice Jen was staying there. Met up with Craig from Obey Craps at Planet Hollywood. So we just kind of sat around, talked, and played a little bit. 527. So again, everybody play loose or short them here because we're going to be talking as we're going, so I cannot focus too much on all that stuff. But 527, made a little bit of profit here. We played a roll to win that night. I know that Ryan and Ian and Craig played on the regular table for a little bit. I just sat and watched, and we went over to the roll to the win. And I was betting very low amounts. In the roll to win, I was playing $5 horsemen. So just trying to conserve the bankroll for the weekend and that. I was not there to go make mega money. I was actually there for the charity to meet up with everybody and that. So first night I ended up with I think it was like a $33 profit for the night. So I was fine with it. It was a long day of travel. I spent probably a total of 9 hours from the time I left my house to the time I got in down there. Some cannot walk and chew gum together. Wow, thanks a lot, Mad Hatter. So let's go $15. See, this is the thing about running the show here, guys, that you probably don't realize is that, and you do realize, but anyhow, I'm running all these different things around me, all the buttons pushing, everything, throwing the dice, talking, trying to keep you guys involved in the conversation. Oh my God. Let's see how many pieces of gum you can chew there, Mad Hatter. 3236, they saw. Veered off towards the hook there. We got an OMC Craps, all the dots, all the spots, midnight. So we got a bookend that is a pass line loser. Push for the DP. So it was a long day of travel. First day, like I said, played $5 horseman on the roll to win. That was actually my best roll I had the entire weekend. was on the roll to win. I had a 19 shooter, 19 roller. I had the top roll of the day for that day. Again, we're going to go $15 pass line bet here. And we'll call that all bets set and days out. So I brought my computer along, and the next morning I got up and I did some work for my other channel on the computer. And by the way, I hit 100 subscribers on my other channel as of this morning. That's starting to shape up a little bit, that one. 2-2 hard 4 with a hard fuzzy 4. 2-2 is going to Cruise. Brian from Holy Roller. So marking point of 4. And we're going to go 160 across on our bets. Let's go 15 in odds. We'll go 10 in odds since this is, I have it set up as, no, we'll go 15. We'll go 15, that's not a problem. 3, 2, 3, 6. So Friday we got up, I did some work on the computer and that. We met at the Casino Quest at around 1 o'clock, I think it was, to help set up for the show. Show obviously was on Saturday and Sunday. All that's set and days out. 639, the easy 9. The Franks. So we got Casino Quest at 1 o'clock. Setting up the show, just kind of jibber jabbering with everybody, just kind of talking. It was just a core group of us. It was Jen, John, Craig, myself, Ryan, Ian, Leon. I think Dice Dr. Dan showed up as well. Can't remember if he was there that day or not. I'm almost positive he was there. So it was really nice to see Dan. Dan's a good friend of mine. Met him last year and really struck up a good friendship. In fact, him and my wife are very good friends as well. So that was a 9. Let's go 32 across pressure. An extra 5 in odds. No, we'll take that 5 off. Let's go 15 in odds there. And we'll go all bets set. Days out. So our goal was to get set up for the show on Thursday, and then we had on Friday, get set up for the show, and then we had a private table at the Palace Station set up, so we actually had 12 people playing on that table that night. And we were guaranteed, we got another 1 through 4 winner for the medium-sized Joe. Craps Master Journey. So we were promised a private table from 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. and we got there, and it was also promised to be a $10 table. And we got there and we found out that all the tables there were $10 tables. So there was no benefit there. And they also threw all the break-in dealers on our table. So it was literally taking 3 to 4 minutes per roll for the dealers to pay everything out, because there was only like 12 at the table and it was taking forever. So just horrendous. It took 3 hours to get completely around. So I was left one, and the guy goes, first one put a pass line bet gets to shoot first. So Ian, who's standing right to my left, threw his $15 down or $10 down or whatever he was doing for pass line. So he got the dice first. It took 3 hours to get all the way around to me. It was just unreal. Dan and the 2 PSOs. So anyhow, let's stick with that $15 pass line bet here. Let's go dice out. Looking for a new point. So my first throw on that table was a 3 roller. I think I threw 3 rolls. We got OMC, not OMC craps. We got Old Bay craps, 5 hard, 10 Old Bay bushel. There we go. So marking the point at 10. So Friday night, again, I was just playing low ball, low roller the entire weekend pretty much. And let's move that $30 over to there. Actually, we can bring our bets down. Let's go 66 inside. So we're in the shooter for $1 here. Okay, that'll work. 3236. No, so really, when we restate that, Friday I won like $50 total for the day. So it was up like $80 or $50 for the trip or somewhere around there. It was somewhere around there. And then Saturday, David did not deal at the station at all. No, there was all break-in dealers there. Good morning, Donna. So 3236, stay out. And we got a 358, the great bait. So anyhow, we played till probably around, I don't know, I would say probably around 11 o'clock on Friday night. That was John's birthday. We really didn't do too much. Just sat and talked, played craps and that. And everybody just kind of left because it was gonna be an early morning and next morning, Saturday morning for the show and that. So before we left, Leon was my ride all weekend. My roommates this weekend were Leon for Greg Craps at the Airbnb, and then we also had Good Morning Badlands. We also had Brian from Holy Roller was another roommate of mine at the Airbnb and that. Let's go to $30 here on that 8. And all that set. Just put a part when you left my finger just a little bit. We got a 459, the harrah 9. Big Daddy Mac. So Saturday morning we met at Casino Quest at about 9 o'clock in the morning. And had a give ourselves each morning about an hour to prep for the show, to get everything set up, make sure everything's good to go. And we started at 10 o'clock in the morning on for the show there. Let's go to $25 on that 9. So started the show. We had Lori from Veterans Moving Forward show up with a gentleman who brought his dog with him, who is an actual recipient of the Veterans Moving Forward Foundation, and the dog's name was Clayton Jones, Staff Sergeant Clayton Jones, and he was an awesome dog. And his paws are like just huge paws, huge head, very mild temperament dog. In fact, that dog took a liking to me. Let's go all that set. They saw it and consistently came up to me throughout the days there. So that was really neat to see. And very well trained, very well trained. Everything that was on camera was only a minor part of what the dog was able to do. Very impressed, very impressed with that. The Ace Deuce Alfredo sauce. So we got to call that a Mama Bear now, because Mama Bear, every time an Ace Deuce was rolled over the weekend, she donated $3 for every Ace Deuce that was rolled. So that was really cool to see. The participation of everybody, we raised the first day like 28,000, I think it was, something like that. So very good first day production. And I sat literally the camera view was right here, and I would sit just out of camera view, like right over here is where I was sitting. And so that was kind of neat that I was able to do that and participate as much as I did. Let's go. All bet set. And they saw. So the first day in the show, if you guys didn't watch it, it was just a lot of dice rolling, a lot of talking, a little bit about craps, about betting styles. We had Coach Bill Parker show up on the first day. 2-2, hard 4, the hard fuzzy 4. 2, it's going to Cruise Brian from Holy Roller. And that night we went back again to the Palace Casino. Dealing was a little bit better, but not much. And so between Friday night and Saturday night, I only got a chance to roll one time each night. And that roll was not a very good roll either. I think that time I got up to a 5 or 6 or 7 roller. Nothing spectacular. So my rolling this weekend was very, very minimal. I got nothing off that 4 because I'm not on the 4 right now. And all that set. 2, 4, 6. Kevin and Carpenter, 2 apple. Sunday, we met back at Casino Quest at 10 o'clock in the morning. Again, I'm sorry, 9 o'clock in the morning. Again, set up for the show that started at 10. Everybody was down there. Again, in the behind the scenes, we had all the crew there. You know, we had Craig, Leanne, myself, John, Justice, Jen, Ryan, Mark Point. Brian from Holy Roller showed up Saturday afternoon. He got off of a ship in Texas, jumped on a airplane, and came right to the Crafts for the Cure. So he was nonstop from one point to the other. He showed up Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon. But Sunday we had the show. Everybody's there. Dice Dr. Dan, Ali, Rick was there. Randy Hill was there for most of the weekend. There was another guy who was in the background. His name was X. I believe his name was X. Super nice guy. It was nice to meet him. Crapsee, all the dots, all the spots. Midnight. All we need is the yo. It's Reaper Hero in, by the way. And like I said, Saturday night we went to the Palace again. I won, I think it was like $10 that night. So my total so far by the end of that night was up $88. So I was not down, I was up $88 in that. We'll go bet set, pace out. So I was happy with that. I made enough to pay for my food for the weekend. A very affordable weekend. I cannot speak for the generosity. We got old big craps again, 5-5 hard 10. I think that's a parlay of the day with SJ. The generosity of everybody involved. The group that we have that runs that show has become quite a family, and it's like everybody was caring for everybody. It was a really neat. Good morning, Durso. That was a winner 10. Puck turns off. And so we all kind of took care of each other in that. We all met for supper on Saturday night and Sunday night, so that was kind of neat. Food was good. Food is good this weekend. So did everybody get play their position like Big AZ does? we were not allowed to move positions. So whatever position you're at the table, we had to shoot from that position. I was probably the only one that was in position. Maybe a couple people were in their position, but most people were out of position. In fact, Saturday night, we're looking for a no point here. We'll go all bets set. So, in fact, Saturday night, Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Crapsee showed up. No, that was Friday night. And him and Rick and Leon from Greg Crapsee were the only three that had good shots. All the rest of them sucked. Jeff actually rolled a 35 roller, so everybody was down except for me because I was playing so minimal. 246 Kevin the Carpenter 2x4, and Jeff threw a 35 roller, so he had the hot hand for the night, and he brought most everybody back significantly. I again didn't profit. I profited like $130 off his roll. I was betting very minimal. The entire night, the entire weekend, really. Again, my main focus was a charity, but also to meet up with everybody and continue our camaraderie and all that stuff. Good morning, Chris. Demon Dog Chris checking in. So what do we throw? We threw a 6 there, so let's make that 6. Oh, that's a 0.6. So let's turn back on, and let's move this down. Let's go 15 on that 4. All that set. It's on. Cheers. We got a Mad Hatter. 112. So Sunday night after the show, we met at Ellis Island. They are in the process of remodeling Ellis Island. I was actually surprised on how small Ellis Island was, because you always hear Ellis Island, Ellis Island, Ellis Island. And I was expecting this huge casino, and it really wasn't, but the remodel was just remarkable. How nice it looks. It was a very loud casino and a very inexpensive casino, but that was the only casino that I actually lost money on. So I was $88 up for the trip going in there, and I lost money on, we couldn't get on the regular craps table. We had to do the roll to win, which was my first time ever doing a roll to win table, and I was not overly impressed with it. So I ended up losing money. So end of the trip total was up $22 for the trip. So all that set, and dice out. So that's how I left it at that. And I did not do any gambling or craps or anything after that. Oh my God. That should be a reroll. Neither one of them went for 4-3. 4-3. 7 up. That was not a very high quality roll at all. Okay, again, I'm talking and trying to shoot at everyone, so be wary, I guess. Made $48 on that one. Woohoo! Big money. Okay, 3-2, 3-6. That was a double pitch, by the way. So we went back Sunday night to the Airbnb, and I left early Monday morning. I'll talk about that in just a second. And I actually helped film a couple. That's what your role looked like. $15 pass line bet here. So we actually went back to the Airbnb, and I filmed a couple videos with Brian from Holy Roller, and there's a little series that will be coming out over on his channel of stuff that we did. And so it was probably 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning by the time we got done with that. And I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning yesterday to get ready to go to the airport, because Leon had to be there that early, and he was my ride to the airport. Got all that set here, dice out. Ace deuce. I threw a lot of those this weekend on the come out. Jen was liking that. She was playing the dark side on everybody, which is fine by me. It does not bother me whatsoever. So every time I threw an ace deuce, she cheered. Everything I threw something else, she booed me. That's kind of funny. She booed me one time. The next time she's like cheering, clapping. She goes, "There you go, Joe." So again, we're going to go $15 pass line bet. And all bet set. Let's spit that gum out here. Wow. Mad Hatter. Aces. So that's 2 pass line losers in a row there. We got 2 hard ones all the way here for you guys putting the ATS. So I got up yesterday morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. I went to the airport, sat there for 4 hours before my flight took off. So I did some more video editing on my other channel. So that was good downtime to do that type of stuff. Okay, I sat around. I traveled for a total of 15 and a half hours yesterday from the time I got to the airport to the time I pulled into my driveway at home. So it was a long day yesterday. Mary and her grandchild and her younger son picked me up from the airport. I walk on the plane. Oh, that was another thing that happened. Friday night, we were leaving the Palace, and all of a sudden I hear, "Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe." I turn around, I don't see anybody I recognize. 325, the Justice Gen 5. What's your pinpoint of 5? And I didn't see anybody, so I turn around and start walking again, and I hear, "Hey, Joe." So I turn around, and a gentleman pops out, and he comes up, Randy Hill." I'm like, "Oh, Randy, how you doing?" So it was really nice to meet him, and he just wanted to know what was going on, just wanted to say hi and everything, so it was pretty cool. But anyhow, I get on the plane yesterday, and on my way back, I flew from Vegas to Denver, and then when I got on the plane in Denver to go to Milwaukee, I get in, and like 3 rows back, I'm like, "Hey, Joe, how you doing?" Look, it's my cousin's husband who was on the plane. It was amazing. He was in the second row. He does a lot of flying. I was in the 3rd from last row of the plane, so I was all the way back. So that was kind of a really neat thing to see, and see somebody that recognized me, and I recognized him as well. But let's go 160 across, and all that set. It's up. Got a 156 KitchenAid mixer. That'll be hit number 1. And so overall, it was a great weekend, successful weekend for the charity. We raised $50,000. We were just shy of $50,000. Jen had, we were like 23,000 shy of 50,000. And Justice Jen's mom passed away a few days ago, just so everybody's aware. And her mom, retirement or whatever you want to call from her mom, used $20,000 to go towards the charity. So Jen let us know about that. So that is an awesome thing. Thank you very much, Jen, and Jen's mom and Jen's family. And we were about 3,000 shy of that 50,000 mark. So I think it's somewhere on there. And Dice Dr. Dan stepped up to bring us to the $50,000 mark. So again, applause and credit goes to Dice Dr. Dan for bringing us up to that. So now we have got 2 fully funded dogs through the Craps for the Cure. We have Mooch, who is named after Chiro. essentially. And we have Pearson, who is named after Ed from Roll the Wind, from his son. So let's go. All bets set. And oops, I forgot to do my pressure here. Okay, let's get back to the show here. Let's concentrate on that. So all bets set. We got 33 people playing along. We get 25 people watching, 9 thumbs up. Make sure you guys share that love here. 3236. Stay out. Two, 6, 8. The Dursalate. So interaction in the chat this weekend was remarkable. We had a very involved chat. People in the chat, people coming in and out. Had some heated discussions in the chat at times, which I guess it is what it is. Let's bring up bets. So we're gonna go another 32 cross pressure because we are not that high. Oh, because I forgot to put a pass line out there. Oh, what an idiot. Yeah, okay, that's right. We got her. 3236. They soaked. For 5-9, hard 9, Big Daddy Mac. We had a lot of people step up in the chat. There was a few people that gave. There's a few people that gave donations every time a certain dice rolls rolled. Dice Mama, every time an Ace Deuce was rolled, she gave $3. Every time that 639 was rolled, she gave $9. So they both were huge contributors to the event, as well as a lot of other people. And it's so many people that donated that I cannot even begin to, let's go 96 cross, cannot even begin to say how many people were involved in that. And to me, and a couple people in the chat here also donated very generously, so thank you very much for your donations for that as well. So very excited about all that. Peace out. One, 3, 4, the medium-sized Joe. As far as not running Crapsee this weekend, it's not something that we really wanted to announce during the live stream, because Casino Quest graciously was the host channel for us for the entire weekend, simply because they had the number of subscribers that they have to get the word out, but also because of their number of subscribers. Every dollar that was donated there, that was a small, ladies and gentlemen, we just threw the small. Every dollar that was donated through the super chats was 100% went to the charity because of the size of their channel. YouTube did not take any cut off of that whatsoever, and they donate the money directly to that. It never crossed our hands at all. So that being said, we could not use Crapsee the entire weekend because of their interaction between Crapsee and Casino Quest. So out of respect to Casino Quest, because they were very gracious hosts and they were a huge contributor to the event as far as donations and time and money. I mean, that takes a lot of money out of them for us to be offered and hosted there. Plus, we take over their facility for the most part. And that is a huge disruption to their business. So another 134. Medium-sized Joe. So out of respect to them, we did not have Crapsee this weekend. So that is an explanation regarding that. In fact, that was a taboo word in the facility. And that may well be Duracell. I understand that. But I'm sure the feelings are not mutual there, and I'm not. It's too political. I'm not going to get into it. Just out of respect to them. So, let's go. All bets set. And oops, I never upped my bet. That's all right. So you got to respect the host. It's like if you go to a person's house in your own house, or let's say if somebody comes to your house, 2-2, hard for the hard fuzzy 4. I should have pressed it up, darn it. You try to respect the rules of the people that owns the place that you're at. So that's all that's to it. And so, or I'm going to leave that. But I could see, why people were requesting that to have interaction between the show and the actual rollout and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, again, it is what it is. Anyhow, let's make that 4 look like a quarter. Let's make that 10 look like a quarter. Whoops. And we'll call that all bet set. Face out. Wow, another 4. 3-1-4 medium-sized Joe. Craps Master Journey to 4 is taking over the table here. I wish I had these rolls this weekend like this. That would have been nice. I wish I would have had the opportunity to do some rolling this weekend. That would have been really nice too. This was a real vet and his dog. Yeah. That was really cool to have him there. Both him and the dog were extremely awesome additions to the program this weekend. Very, very, very cool. They have him there, and very nice to meet them as well. He was more than anxious to be involved in the show once he met all of us, and we included him on almost everything that we did. From even when we went to Palace Station, he did not do any gambling at all, but he was there watching us, and he was learning the game and that, and very, 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 very nice guy. So let's go all bet set. Face out. Two, 3, 5, Justice Gen 5. So I'm not sure what we're going to be doing next year. If we're going to continue with the crafts for the cure for the Veterans Moving Forward Foundation, that's going to be up to John on if we're going to continue with that organization or if we're going to go to a different organization. But if we do stay with them, I know that that gentleman that was there with his dog does want to come back. And I also was informed that next year, if we have them, both Pearson and Mooch will be able to travel. So they're more than likely going to bring those 2 dogs along as well. So I'm not sure how they did that. So anyhow, that was a winner 5. Pop turns off. Make that 5 look like a quarter, and then we'll turn our bets off. There we go. And we'll go $15 pass lane bet, since I forgot to put it out last time. And all bets set. Days out. Look, we stop. We are on the 9459 R9. Big Daddy Mac. So let's bring that 15 and put that in odds. Okay. 2, 3, 6. far as the drama's going to chat, guys, I was not all about that. Again, we're there for a good event, a good charity event. And, I respect the opinions of majority of the people there, but I felt that some of them were to just rile the chat up, and that's the part I did not like. And I'll point out Duracell for that as one of the individuals, 6'4", I know Duracell's in the chat right here, and I'm brutally honest with people. If you want to know something, I'll tell you the truth. And I felt it was a little overkill at times. In the chat right here, he says debate is American. I understand that, but I think riling people up shouldn't be American. And if you want to get your message across, which I fully 100% support, start your own channel. You can do that there, do it on your own channel, rather than muddying up some of the other people's posts. And please respect that as my opinion and as my whatever you want to call it. Let's go to $50 on that. 10. Morning, Jen. So, but again, I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not about pissing people off, but I am about talking about the truth and being very transparent with everything that I do. That was a terrible throw. 5-6, yo, chef. And the other person was Dr. S that was bringing things up this last weekend as well. Some of it was, again, constructive. I respect the constructive part of it. The parts of riling people up is not the part that I respect. So again, transparency, is key for me. And everybody in attendance this weekend will realize that Joe talks the truth. He speaks the truth, and sometimes not the most politically correct truth that there is, but I am who I am. Anyhow, let's go all bets set. All we need is midnight for the tall. Face out. Two, 6, 8, the Duracell 8. Nice. Let's go to $30 on that 8. How's my rail on my table? On this table here, Huggy Bear, unfortunately, I have 11 inches is right here at the top of the rubber here. Let me go to the screen where you can see it. 11 inches is the top of the rubber here. So I'm at about 12 and a half, 13 inches, which is a little bit taller than what I would like to see it at. We threw an 8. We're at $30 on the 8. Let's go all bet set. And dice out 3, 2, 3, 6. Ooh, that was a terrible throw. We got lucky. 2-2 hard, 4 hard, fuzzy 4. 2-2 is going to cruise Ryan, Holy Roller. So that is nice for me because I got a $50 bet on that. So that'll be what? $98 brought back to the rack on that. Let's put some of it back out there. So let's make that 4 look like $100. 3, 2, 3, 6. Yeah, Lazy Dogs goes, he goes, lots of people popped in expecting CQ to be not a fundraiser, then had a fun time learned a lot, a thing or two. That's cool. That's very cool. So all that set and they out. Yeah, the participation behind the scenes was awesome. Everybody that was in attendance, I give applause to, and for hard 9. We were in a smaller room this time, and noise traveled very easily because of the way we had the sound system or the microphone set up. And I apologize for the sound system or the microphone. It was not always the best at all times. It kind of cut out at times. And I realized that, well, we did the best we could, but everybody in the room, it was funny because when we were on commercials, it was really loud in that room. And as soon as it was ready to go, we were ready to go live, I was like, look inside, yell out. And everybody would just like quiet down instantly. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool how everybody helped assist with that show. That was a winner 9. Puck turns off on that. 15-hour pass line bet again here. The second day, we had some very good speakers that showed up. We had we have 4 hard 8 square pair, so let's mark the point of 8. We had the marketing director from Ellis Island show up. That was a very, very good topic. Very super nice guy. In fact, when we went to Ellis Island that night, he actually met us in the parking lot when we got there and brought us through. Okay, why is Crapsee acting up here? Okay, that was a delayed response on that. Wow, okay. So it's very low. Six and 4 hard 8. There we go. I think everything should be up to date on here now. Yes. Okay, let's just move this $30 over to the 9, and we'll put 15 in odds out here. 3, 2, 3, 6. Ed from Roll to Win showed up. He did a little presentation on Saturday, so that was neat. Jen did not get her voice back. In fact, when I met up with her on Thursday night, she had a full mask on, and she was sitting at the Roll to Win station, and we were at the other table. So I walked over, met her over there, and she didn't see me walk up, and I kind of turned around and I butt bumped her, and she was gonna holler at whoever, and she saw it was me and gave me a big hug. So that was really neat to see. But she did not have a voice for most of the weekend. But she still tried. Her interactions with Brian, and it was awesome. That was funny. If you saw them on the show, another 268 Duracell 8. If you saw her on the show, you saw her and Brian get into it a couple times, but it was funny because they are actually really good friends, and behind the scenes, they're all hugs and everything, but on camera, it was funny. They were ready to get the boxing gloves out. So that was a winner 8 point, made point hit, Buckeye buckshot. So again, $15 pass line bet. So what $42 on that 8 once we get a point established. All bets set, and I saw it. 3, 2, 3, 6. So Jen's in the chat here. She will attest that Joe did not roll very well this weekend, other than that first roll on the Roll to Win table. But I did have the opportunity to shoot only 3 times, pretty much all weekend. So 3 or 4 times. It wasn't very much. 516 KitchenAid mixer. So I did not have very many opportunities to prove myself this weekend. But I was fine with that. I really am. Again, like I said, I was there for the charity. I was there to meet up with everybody, since they are one of my only friend groups. You guys in the chat here and the people there are my friends. I don't really participate too much in my friends around the house here. So I'm pretty much all about work and YouTube and family. That's pretty much my lifestyle. I sabotaged from home. Yeah, one day, but the next day was better. I actually I will say this, I had a bad day on Friday. Some stuff from home and that came up, and I was at the the Stadium Craps at the Point at Hollywood before we went to where we went, and a couple of my rolls came up short, and the guy who's running a 4-5-9 hard 9, the guy who's running the roll to win or the Stadium Craps made a comment to me, and I kind of fired back on him a little bit. I looked at him because he goes, "Sir, you need to hit the back wall." I said, "I'm trying to hit the back wall." He goes, "No, you have to hit the back wall. It's only 6 feet away." Something like that. It was just kind of rude. And I just looked at my dude, turned my bets off, and he didn't even think twice. He immediately turned them off. I walked away, and everybody's looking at me, and I'm only like 3 rolls in on my roll, and everybody looked at me like, "Joe, what happened?" I said, "Don't worry about it." You know, I was a little pissy. So, good morning, Gargoil. How you doing? Very cool. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So that was a 9. Let's go to $60 right away. And all bets set. They set 3236. Gee, that was very nice of you. Interaction this week, as well as 213 Ace Deuce, as well as you and Jeff combining to make a huge donation. I believe you guys donated, I think it was $5,000 between you two, and I think there's one other person involved in that. Don't quote me on that, everyone, but I'm almost positive that's what it was. So Gargoil had a huge donation, plus he also donated one of those 3 craps layouts, so that was very cool of him also, contributing towards the cause. So that is very, very neat. The generosity that you had for the charity. All that set. So much. 358, the Grape Ape. So if you have any questions about anything from the event this weekend, put in the chat here. If we have any time, we will go through that. Again, transparency is key with me, so I try to share everything that I see through my eyes. The word according to Joe. That was another 8, so let's make that 8 look like $60. Some of them are. K. Fisher, this guy was just a disgruntled employee, probably because he was stuck on the roll to win. I'm sure that's not the most enjoyable job from a dealer perspective. At least I wouldn't want to do it. It's pretty menial, pretty boring. Most of the tips, I'm sure, are very minimal on that table as well. Mad Hatter. That will be a repeater. Yeah, the roll to win. That was the first time I ever played roll to win, Jen, and I was not impressed. With the roll to win, they have got bumps, like bumps all over, and there's only a bump. There's like 2 bumps, like about 3 to 5 inches off that back wall. Yeah, it was not Is there a Crapsee Cure wrap-up show? I'm not sure what you're asking there. So the wrap-up show, I'm sure John's going to be, I know on Friday John's going to be doing a show that's going to be doing the final drawings. I know that for sure. So let's go all that set, and so he's going to do final drawings on Friday, so I'm sure he's going to probably use that as a wrap-up show, I'm assuming. I don't know that for sure though. That's just an educated guess. It's a little bit long on that one. We got a 538, another great paper. My wrap-up show is this show right here. So I'm going through everything that I saw and that I experienced. But overall, it was a great experience this weekend. It really was. Let's go to $90 on that 8. And all that set. Dice out. Yeah, I know for a fact he said Friday for the drawings and that in the raffles. He did some of the raffles live at the end of the show. Another 2-2 hard 4. I think that's a triple parlay of the day with SJ and Hazel. I know he did some of the drawings live on Sunday, but then he said, I think he said Friday is going to be the rest of the drawings. There's a couple big ticket items that he wanted to make sure that they generated the amount of income that they probably should have. Some of them are very high, expensive monies. $200 on the 4. And rightfully so. It should be that way. And Kevin, $10 super chat. Thank you very much, Kevin. Very, very, very thankful. And we'll go all bet set. Dice out. And a double pitch, 3-4-7. That'll be the end of the rolls for the day here. That's 3-4-7. Ouch. So let's go through our statistics for the day here, and we'll wrap things up here, and then I will be back again tomorrow. So let's go. I won $405 on that roll. That's awesome. Okay. So our statistics for the day, we had a 16.6 SOR, 16.6 SRR, or 16.0, I should say. Hot numbers today at 4 and slightly that 8 and slightly the 9, so that's pretty cool. Box numbers are high today. Inside numbers are expected. 4s and 10s are high. Come out 7s were non-existent. Horns are a little bit high. Fields are definitely high, and hardways are high as well. We had a 6, a 15, and a 27 rower. That roll quality points, and the third rower was 292. Very cool. Looking at our dice roll results, this is through the end of last week, Wednesday. We had 7,175 throws, SORs at 9.42, SRs at a 6.67, and BSRs at a 6.37. So let's go through our chats really quick here. Seahawks says, keep up with the hard 4. Yeah, great. He's up 1990. That's awesome. Yeah, Jen, the Palace Station table was way too slow, and that definitely affected, I think, the majority of us with everything that's going on. And Nemo, we're trying to coach him up a little bit, but you're very welcome there, Mad Dog. Thank you. And Uncle Hoko goes, you can shoot Joe. You can do it. But anyhow, thanks everybody for joining in here today. I will be back tomorrow morning with our normal show. And again, if you have questions, well, what happened over the Craps for the Cure weekend, or my trip to Vegas, or anything else, just make sure you drop in a chat. I will try to answer them. Again, transparency is key for me. But anyhow, I will be back tomorrow. Thanks everybody for joining in today. My name is Joe. This is my Craps Master dice shooting journey. Let's make it yours too. Everybody have a great day. Be safe. Be prosperous.